Hello, Allies. Welcome to another episode of Allied Heritage Report. I'm your host, Javon Chandler, and as promised, we will be tackling this coronavirus that's going on. Now, I want to issue a statement right now. This coronavirus is severe. There's been a number of deaths that's been totaled up, and there's been a number of cases. I know here in the state of Tennessee alone, there are 371 cases. Now, that doesn't mean that you should be going out here buying up every single store. What you really should be doing is rationing out, because there could be other families that need that. And you are buying everything which deprives America. Now, before we get started on our findings and everything, I want to welcome our recurring co-host back to the show. He's here doing this with me because I figured this is so big I can't tackle it by myself. We will be doing two 30-minute shows, equal up to an hour, so we'll cover almost everything. But first, I want to ask, this coronavirus, I mean, we're looking at something that's really big, but I mean, it still kind of sounds suspiciously made up.
You know, a lot of people are starting to get to that point. You get a lot of actors or celebrities that are going online doing videos, but you do get a few here and there that are putting out videos about being quarantined. Okay, I believe the quarantine is real, but somehow it just 2 and 2 does not add up to 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not trying to be offensive to any people that follow Trump, but Trump 2 and 2 for some reason he believes is, you know, a 10. Yeah, look at me, I'm doing a 10. I'm always a 10. I'm great. I'm always great. I'm always right. I can never be wrong because I'm always right. You know.
Don't blame me. It wasn't my fault. Okay. Well, before we move over to the new findings that we found today, and I say findings because we actually found them, we looked at them. I want to run through some theories and some things that we know. Okay, so what we know is that the Kirkland Fire Department over in Washington is under watch. They're constantly being viewed. But Donald Trump himself says he's not worried about this virus. Now, we do know that up until today, the target was the elderly, at least 50 and above with underlying health problems. I say up until today because we have had cases where there have been 20-year-olds that have been getting this. New York, I still haven't found anything on a woman that self-quarantined herself, but I do know that New York is under lockdown. And so is California, I believe. There's a lot of people that contracted this virus after traveling to countries like Iran and Italy and China. And Rhode Island was the first ones to shut down schools because they had 2 cases. Now, I want to touch base on another one that I found, and you brought this to me. Earlier in this investigation of the coronavirus, we found out that Ukraine had protesters that were attacking a bus that was carrying, evacs. I think you was the one that brought that to me.
I don't remember that, but I do remember reading about a semi truck that was hijacked over toilet paper.
Yeah.
They stole the entire truckload. I mean, people are getting crazy. I mean, just today we seen a guy go out and back in with 2 cartloads full of paper towels, and I don't even think he paid for them.
No, I don't.
And the door greeter, she didn't look like she even cared because she's getting to a point where you could tell on their faces they're getting frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing they want to do right now is fight anybody over stolen toilet paper or paper towels.
Right. Now, there was something that I found about, okay, there was a food market. Now, I think this was a really long time ago. There was a food market where I guess employees were sick or whatnot. But the odd thing that I found about this was that just a few miles away from the food market was China's only biosafety level 4 super laboratory supermarket that researches human infectious diseases. I mean, could there be a chance here that there could be evidence showing of China's involvement?
Oh, there is evidence. I mean, I've got personally some files that came in through an anonymous source, a very reliable source, came into the Native American Association, and the information that was sent to us, it's been checked, double checked, and rechecked. It's factual. I mean, there's names involved, dates involved of how they were taking a virus that already pre-existed anyways, and they were altering it to create a mega virus, which is what they thought they released. But there's several doctors now that are stating the virus is evolving, and it's something that they were not expecting. So they may have been testing with something they shouldn't have been testing with, but now that it's out, they're realizing they really don't have control over it. But hey, I've got some update news. Okay, this news just came in. If your license plates are expired by the end of this month, don't worry about it. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Okay, right now we got a message from the Tennessee Department of Health and the Tennessee Department of Revenue. Okay, deadlines for March and April vehicle registrations, renewals extended to June the 15th. That means you will now have until June the 15th to renew your license plates and not have to worry about getting in trouble because they expired. Now, the Tennessee Revenue Department hopes this alleviates your concerns so you can focus on the health and safety during the COVID-19 situation that we are facing. So that kind of helps us as well. To my understanding, there is a law banning utility companies from disconnecting lights or water until, I believe, until the end of May, which kind of helps people not have to worry so much right now about trying to keep your lights on and paying your license plate tags. I mean, because with the revenue office being closed right now, you can't really go in and pay your tags. I mean, you can go online, but you're still looking at probably some wait time to get your sticker. So now that they got an extension, so I can repeat this again. If your vehicle's registration is expiring in March or April, a registration renewal has been extended until June the 15th, 2020. And if you're interested in finding out more about this, they're posting this on Twitter at Tennessee Department of Revenue. Go to Twitter and check it out yourself.
That's some good tips. Now I want to give you the latest numbers. Coronavirus cases throughout global 304,900. Okay, so out of that, we have 13,001 dead. We have 94,793 that have recovered. That's a 5% difference with the serious or critical. Now, it's causing fear, which could be bad for other families because the panic shopping and everything. But I'm estimating, I could be wrong, I'm estimating that this coronavirus could have at least a $300 billion impact on the economy. Now, we do know that there are some things that have been canceled, postponed, and everything. As you may be well aware, you have not gotten any brackets because there is no March Madness this year. There's no hockey, no spring football, no NBA. NASCAR's canceling some of their events. WWE still has WrestleMania, but there will be no audience. This is impacting everything as we know it. Now, the stats that the government has been giving us, they're saying, now their words, not mine, they are saying that you are 0.004% likely to catch it tomorrow. And they are saying that you are 0.8% likely to die from it. They're also stating that you have a 1,704 times likely chance to die from falling out of bed than the coronavirus. I think they need to be looking at the numbers instead of guessing. Because, I mean, people...
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that exactly what you're thinking is they are guessing right now because it is a guessing game.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the governors are looking at this as we're not doing a guessing game. This is starting to get out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a few other updates. If you're in Mississippi, okay, Mississippi Department of Health now is recommending that restaurants and bars suspend all dine-in services indefinitely. There's not a limited date on that. It's indefinitely. And I honestly think it's because the governor of Mississippi is looking at this truthfully as we don't know how long this is going to really last.
Right.
It may not disappear during the summer. I mean, in fact, look down in Mexico. There's numbers breaking out in Mexico, and they're a lot warmer than we are.
Mm-hmm. And
they're having our weather that we would have in summer. So why are they still getting it?
Well, we just found out that South America has done a nationwide or countrywide mandatory quarantine. So, I mean, it shouldn't be before too long we do the same thing up here. But I just got this here. It says that U.S. lawmakers are negotiating a rescue package as fear looms throughout the country. Now,
okay, now hang on here for a second. Okay, I mean, just theoretically speaking here, you have every country in the world affected by this, okay? You have every country in the world now starting to do shutdowns.
mm-hmm.
You have every country in the world effectively having a hard time getting food and supplies. Now you have every country in the world where the government is now starting to want to offer packets, Band-Aids,
Mm-hmm.
basically. I'm sorry, but I honestly don't feel like they're offering packets. I think I really feel like what they're trying to do is saying, okay, now we're going to start limiting you. That's why I say things don't add up here. Okay, I was just reading about Nashville. Nashville has officially decided all dining restaurants are a no-no. I mean, the exact words that I'm looking at right now, okay, let's see. Nashville Health Department, the order is now official starting as of 8 p.m. tonight. Dine-ins is no longer allowed at restaurants in Nashville. Okay, several other options are still available, so you can still get a great meal while practicing social distance. Okay, let's be real, people. You want a great meal, get the supplies, get home, and get it made.
Mm-hmm.
You want social distancing? Then put your family around the kitchen table and tell them to put that phone down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can still socialize with your family inside your own home and enjoy a nice hot meal. Somehow I got a feeling that maybe this is a good thing. People have become too reliant on the system. And if they're offering care packets because of the loom, it's not the loom, it's panic buyers that go out and buy up everything and there's no supplies on the shelves. And then you're going to have some families out there that can only get out once a month, and by the time they're able to get out, there's nothing on the shelves. And thanks to people that have bought $80 worth of steak and several $100 worth of canned goods and stuff, well, you just made it harder for a family that lived way out in the middle of nowhere, and they only can get into town maybe once a month because they're on a fixed income. And now when they go to town, they can't find anything. And so now that family's going to be starving. We're putting other families in poverty. And it's not because of the coronavirus. It's because of people being greedy and going out and selfish buying. This is not Americans. This is not how America is. Stop hoarding. I can't repeat this enough. Stop taking out of the mouths of other people, all because you still have that greed to society feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You need to let go of that. True American spirit from the past. Think about that. People used to help each other. People used to work together. But now when you go to a grocery store, you see an elderly couple in line waiting to get a loaf of bread. And you see somebody with 4 or 5 shopping carts full of stuff. And they can care less about the elderly couple. Is this American society today? Is this what we've become? We don't have to be like this. We can correct this. We have an opportunity. Don't let this take control of everybody's life. We can get through this and we can make it.
This virus is hitting closer to home. Allies, if you are in the state of Florida, as of today, Florida is shut down. Completely down. And I say this is hitting hard, close to home, because Manatee County has 9 cases and Sarasota has 8. Now, the first, or let's see here, restaurants down in Florida are doing takeout and they're also doing delivery. Bars are selling food and alcohol through takeout and delivery. But they're stating that they are going to be making isolation shelters in Florida. So for the homeless and everything, you would have a place to go. But I wanted to add that because, you know, we have family in Sarasota, so I mean this is really hitting.
You know, we got family in Sarasota. We got family in Lake Wales area. We got Minnewachuny family, which is a water protector family, all over the state of Florida. And I know they're having a hard time right now. Because if our stores are nearly empty, I can just imagine what a Florida store looks like.
know, plus they had them outdoor markets too. So, I mean, they're probably completely empty.
This is getting real,
Yes, it is.
you know, but it's not the coronavirus that I fear. I fear that it's gonna be the lack of being able to get to getting what you need. I mean, there's mothers out there that have to be able to get diapers and stuff for the kids. And if somebody goes to the store and starts buying up 20 or 30 cases of diapers, I mean, they're hoarding and taking away from parents that need it. I mean, it makes no sense.
Well, if you are an ally in the state of New Jersey, your state is about to be shut down as well. Your case number has topped the 800 mark. We're looking at, in the state of New Jersey, a total of 890. And out of the 890, 11 have deceased. Now, Pennsylvania is about to shut down as well because you are about to top the 300 mark in cases. And, you know, like you said, this is getting worse, but I agree with you. I don't think the coronavirus is going to be the thing that takes us out. I think it's going to be people just panic shop. I understand the panic shopping. I understand that you're scared. We're all scared. We're all worried. We're freaking out here, man. But that doesn't mean that you gotta deprive America of themselves. I mean, you know, if I'm going to the store and I see somebody that needs something, I'm going to be the first one to cough up something that's in my cart so that way that family has it. I mean, we're talking about a family of kids and everything, and we're talking about surviving. We ain't going to survive if we do not stick together. We do not reach out our hand and want to help. You know, this ain't a greedy mission. This ain't a mission to show your dominance. If that's the case, then you're going to be the first one to die if this turns out to be something that's different than what we think. I mean, we already have stores. I know here in Columbia, Save-A-Lot is now starting to close at 6 o'clock. Walmart is shutting down at 8. So we already have stores that are closing before nightfall. Now, we noticed a trend here. That there's a lot of these counties in these states that the majority of places that are being hit the hardest is overpopulated cities. Now you're talking the less of them coming in the least populated places. And, you know, I'm not talking about Columbus, I'm not talking about Cincinnati, I'm talking about places like Kirksville, Ohio, places like New Lexington, places like down here in Tennessee with like the open fields and everything, less populated people.
Okay, well, see, the lowest populated county here in Tennessee is what, Pickett?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, is there any viruses in Pickett?
Not that I can tell, no, I didn't get any. Not one.
Okay, so it's mainly affecting the high population areas. And the low population areas are not being affected. Could it be because people are not really out and about just to be exposed with that many people?
It could be, or it could be the fact that they live in such a place that they're already at least 6 feet away from everybody. You know, they're kind of like spaced out and everything. So I mean, that's.
Well, you know, something else had come up. I had a conversation with a truck driver, at a truck stop. Okay, I even shared a video on the Native American Association regarding truck drivers. I mean, if they're shutting down dine-in, and if they're shutting down heated meals like deli meals and stuff like that along the interstate, how's the truck drivers going to get a hot meal? I mean, they're out there pushing our loads for us to have bread at the stores. They're out there pushing their backs, trying to keep their hours down because of federal regulations. But yet they're trying to get the produce and stuff to our supermarkets that well, we've got things, but yet there's nothing there for them to have a hot meal. And we can't even at least tell them thank you. You know, I want to take the time to let every truck driver out there know that if it wasn't for you, America would already be shut down. Period. They wouldn't have to worry about shutting down anything. But the driver that I was talking to, he said if he gets to a point where he cannot get a hot meal, and he's not the only one, truck drivers are talking about it all over the CB radio. I mean, I've been checking the CB radio out, transmissions out myself, and I've heard the same conversation. It gets down to a point where they cannot stop and get themselves a nice hot shower and a nice hot meal, then they're going to shut their trucks down. Now, if we don't watch it, we could push the truck drivers into a complete shutdown. And if they go on strike, then you can guarantee America, you ain't going to get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be right back in the 1960s again, a depression era.
See, and I just want to point out right now, just because you are not testing positive, just because you are not showing symptoms, it doesn't mean that you don't have it. So you really need to be careful around people, because you may not be sick, but you could be carrying it to somebody. So wash your hands. Try not to touch your face. I know it's going to be hard, but try not to. Be careful what you touch. Be careful, the distance around people. Be careful what you buy, because you never know.
It's kind of funny how we were talking about it. Don't hit the least populated areas. And now I just come across a news article. Okay, the first coronavirus case in Jackson County, Kansas. Okay, which is about 30 miles north of Topeka, Kansas there. But Jackson County, okay, I've been in that area. That area is nearly all bunch of farmers and people that really don't get out to big cities. And now they have a case. It kind of makes you wonder if this coronavirus is not coming in on truckloads. If people are stocking this stuff in warehouses, sneezing on it, and if one of them has the coronavirus but don't have the symptoms right off the bat, they are contagious still. And if they have not been tested, they're spreading it on cardboard boxes. And look at the statistics. You see how long it can live on plastic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they wrap the boxes with a plastic wrap. So if somebody's contagious and they touch that plastic wrap, it'll live on that plastic wrap long enough to go anywhere in the United States. Now see, social distancing is not the only thing that needs to think about.
True.
And without enough tests in the United States, how they gonna know that that young man that's at the distribution center wrapping that pallet doesn't have coronavirus?
True. Now we're gonna switch over to our second part of this coronavirus sit down, and during the second part I'm going to bring up one of our younger viewers because he has some feelings on this, and I want to touch base with him more on his worries. So we're gonna step away for at least a 5-10 minute break, and then we'll get back to this.
Okay, so if you're following this on YouTube, stay tuned. In about 5-10 minutes, we'll be right back up.